So in this video, we're going to talk about two key factors. If you can get your head around this, you'll understand the value of PDP, Professional Development Planning. So the image on my right, you'll see has got a circle with certain points. Point number one is establishing purpose and direction. As business owners, as entrepreneurs, as human beings, we always have room for improvement. And processes, there's so many different processes out there. This is a very, very good process because it goes into a further detail. Like anything, the more detail you go into, the more clearer you can understand the full process. It's called granularization. The more granular you can get to, the better it is. Businesses can't granularize on everything, otherwise resource and energy and time and cost becomes too much. So that's where frameworks come into play that engulf a lot of the granularization. So process number one is to establish your purpose and direction. Every business has got a purpose and direction. In 2019, 2020, the purpose and direction changes. Markets change, the economy changes, lots of different factors continuously change. Hence, your business growth, business planning, personal development always needs to change. Every single day you grow, every single time you learn a new piece of information you grow. So it's a continuum. So purpose number one is establish purpose and direction. Where do you want to get to from the current position? Number two is identify development needs. What are your strengths and what areas do you need to become better at? And then number three is development opportunities. You've got to identify what are the growth opportunities. Some things are doable, other things are not. Or some things are doable but not within the time frame that you have available. So it's identifying those opportunities that you do have as an individual to grow. And then you go into formulating a plan. It all sounds simple, but once you go into your own personal plan, once you come to the point of identifying your own personal opportunities, those will be areas, whether it's a business, whether it's your personal self, whether it's family life, whether it's whatever that you're looking for within the growth spectrum, those will be things that you have not got. Nobody is an oracle. Nobody is a knower of all. Every single one of us has growth opportunities. And people who can have the strength to be able to look at that will know and recognize that. And then you formulate that plan that as an individual, what can you realistically do, looking at the different strategies available, circles of influence, hierarchy of needs, etc., etc. And once you formulate that with the right methodology, then you'll be able to create a robust action plan. The next step after that is starting the process, looking for no-brainer situations when you set smart targets or set KPIs. These words, most people who are not a part of development and coaching will say, I've heard these words before, they're very common. Well, it's the simplest tools that give the best results. Your individual growth is where the magic happens, not in strategies. People like to see big diagrams. If some of these diagrams that we have within the same spectrum, they could go into depth of 50 points, 20 points, 70 points, etc. Some of them look really, really fancy, others look not as fancy, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to identify a workable, measurable format. So once you start your process, it's looking for no-brainer growth areas. And once you do that, as you grow, you look at reviews and you look at the measured outcomes. For any professional, is how do you measure that? You can't measure emotions, but can you measure other factors that are relatable to those areas? And once that is done, then you can do a review and evaluation of where your growth is. Adding on to this, there are so many other formulations that you can add on to it, but the next image you'll see here is the integration model. So whenever a person goes onto this journey, what that happens is that they're already integrated in their current day-to-day, your day-to-day process, what you're used to, the way that you wake up, the way that you talk to your family, the way that you come into work, the way that you do your work, the way that you maneuver your work, the way that you tackle challenges, etc., etc. Once you come and start learning, you have a disintegration process. What's that? It starts adding confusion. You've got to start getting accustomed. You've got to start changing the way that you work, and that can cause a little bit of friction. That friction is actually growth. That discomfort is actually growth. That confusion is actually growth, because you're starting to open yourself up to a new possibility. So it goes to the disintegration, and then confusion kicks in, because what you're trying to do is align this new learning with your old learning, and how does it strengthen that. As you continue to go through it, you start to join pieces together. Oh, this person can do this if you're a business, or that person can do that, or that part of the team can do this. And then slowly reintegration starts to take place. Once that reintegration starts to take place, you become back to your norm. That becomes your new norm. So whether you're a CEO, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a manager, whether you are somebody that has some level of understanding or requirement on your own personal growth, that's usually all of us. That's the process that you'll go through. So hope that was quite useful. If you actually take some time out and actually look at that, most people won't, which is not a problem at all. But if you actually are genuine in your own personal growth for 2020, then you're the right person. Look at these steps and start asking yourself those questions. One of the challenges is lots of people talk about self-learning. Self-learning is very, very difficult. Why? Because you can't be objective to yourself. That's why having a coach or having somebody external will allow that objectivity to have some real value. So hope that's been quite useful. See you later. Thank you.